Notes 8.2. So you can probably tell that my screen looks a little bit different. That is because over here on the side I have Desmos open. You will use Desmos on this. Okay, it's going to help you out a lot. It's going to make your life a lot easier. You will also be able to use Desmos on the STAAR test. So if you are still kind of confused on how to run things on Desmos, please, please, please reach out to me and we will do a quick cheat sheet, study guide, a promptu, how to use Desmos, because it is going to be your best friend on that test. So I'm going to leave that open to the side because we will use it here in a second. But on Notes 8.2, you are going to work on the warm-up on your own because it's a follow-up from Notes 8.1. So I want you to try your best on that, as per usual. But what we're going to look at is these bottom ones. We're going to look at standard form of a quadratic, vertex form of a quadratic, and factored form of a quadratic. Okay, so the thing is, you might be looking at each of these and thinking, oh my gosh, that is so much. How am I supposed to remember all of that? There's no way I can figure out all of these different formulas. The great thing is you don't have to. I do not expect you to memorize these. Neither does the STAAR test. That is why they will give you a formula chart with each of these on it. Okay, they're all right here. Standard form, vertex form, quadratic formula, axis of symmetry, they are all right here for you. You are not expected to memorize those. This will be given to you, okay? So let's take a look at them and take a look here at our problems. So on these, it gives you 3 different ones. So this first one, standard form. The second one is the vertex form. And that last one is the quadratic root form, okay? We're going to take a look at each of these, and you are going to find the key features and write them down. There's just a few things I want to talk about first. So like on this first one, this is the standard form, okay? And so you have A, B, and C. Well, I can tell you right now, I'm looking and my A is 1, my B is 6, and my C is 8. And to figure out the axis of symmetry, okay, I need to do opposite of B. So negative B, if it's positive, now it's a negative, but if it was a negative, now it would be a positive, right? We're just going to do the opposite. So I would have negative 6 over 2 times A. Well, remember, if you don't see a number in front of a variable, you assume it's 1. Okay, and I could solve that right now. I know that negative 6 divided by 2 is going to be negative 3. So your axis of symmetry is at negative 3. Okay, right? And from here, I can start creating or graphing my quadratic formula, right? I know that my line of symmetry is x equals negative 3, but I don't have everything else yet. Now, I could use those formulas, right? I could plug it in, I could convert it, I could look at the formula, I could do the quadratic equation, I could do any of those things. I could also put it into Desmos, and so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to put in x squared, so I'm going to say x squared. Now, as you can see, my buttons are a little bit different because this is on my iPad. If you are on the computer or on your Chromebook, you would just do the up arrow and then a 2. You want to make sure that it's squared, not x2. X squared, okay? Plus 6, let me make this a little bigger. Plus 6, okay? X plus 8. And now you can see that it has graphed that for me. Okay, you are going to have to draw it as well. But if I look here, it gives me everything I need. It gives me the vertex, okay, at negative 3, negative 1. It gives me my x-intercepts where it crosses on the x-axis. So it crosses at -2, 0, and at -4, 0. Okay. Then, if I want to see my y-intercept, well, I go to the y-axis. Where does it cross on the y-axis? It tells me it crosses at 0, 8. And then remember, my minimum or maximum value is on that vertex. It's the y value, so that would be, that would be -1. Okay, but you need to draw this yourself. So, based off everything I was just given, if my vertex is at -3, -1, it's right here. Oh, let me zoom in a little bit here. It's at -1. As you can see, my lines got a little crazy, but that's okay. -3, -1 right there. Okay. Then my zeros, look, we're at -2, -4, so I'm going to mark those. -2, -4. My y-intercept was at 8, and so my line should look something like this. It's not going to be perfect, but as long as you have perfectly marked each of these, you are good to go. All right, let's look at another one. On these last two, I'm going to put it into Desmos, and I want to talk a little bit about it, but you are going to write out the key features on your own. Let's get rid of that one. We're done with that one. You're going to plug this in just like you did a second ago, but let's take a look. Vertex form is where H is your X coordinate and K is your Y coordinate. So if I look at this, this is my X, this is my Y. Okay, so the vertex should be at 2, 4, right? But not +2. Let's see what happens when we put this in here. So I'm going to say -3. Maybe, there we go, -3. Parentheses, make sure you don't forget those parentheses. X plus 2, parentheses. Okay, now squared, make sure we want squared, not 2, plus 4. Now, sometimes you have to make sure with your Chromebook that you hit the arrow. You want it to look exactly like that. Okay, and then look, it graphed everything for you. So let's see where it put our vertex. It says -2, but right here I have a +2, so why would my vertex be at -2, 4? Does anybody know why that might be? Because you have to distribute. And if I were to distribute in that negative, right, it would be negative. Well, it's -2. And now you are going to use Desmos to mark everything else. Now, on this, as you can see, I did not get an exact whole number, but you are going to round to the nearest whole number, okay? All right, let's take a look at this one. Get rid of that. Same thing, we're going to say parentheses, x plus 1, x plus 1, parentheses, okay? Parentheses again, because we're in root form, x minus 3, parentheses. So, look at that. It gives you your x's, your zeros, right? Which should be obvious because that's what's right there for you. It also gives you your vertex, your minimum value. It also gives you your y value. Oh, wait a minute. There is something funny here. What happened to our y value? Why is the y missing? What happened there? Because it's not up top. This time, It's a little bit at bottom, but it's still there. It still crosses that at -3. So you have everything you need. Remember, Desmos is your friend. You are going to fill out the key features for all of these, okay? We already did that one together. So now you're just following Desmos and filling out the key features here and here. All right, I will see you for the next set of notes.